ठीक है.
Today we are going to continue our paper number 1 in AQA Computer Science. This is our textbook. In AQA Computer Science, we are on the topic of arrays. And we have to start the new topic that is called arrays in pseudocodes. So yesterday we have done some programming of arrays. We have created a variable. In that variable, we have created input some colors, that's called rainbow, and then we print that program on the screen. And today we are going to proceed our lecture with the topic arrays and pseudocodes. So the first subtopic is make an array and assign values. So we know this thing, in arrays we have to input some values in a variable, and then we are going to use them or utilize them in our program. So assigning values in array is exactly the same in pseudocodes as in Python. जैसे कि हमने कल किया था, we have done it before, that we input red, blue, green, yellow colors in a variable rainbow, and then we print rainbow. So whatever the colors are stored in that array will be printed out. So we need to assign to an array is exactly the same pseudocodes as in Python. The arrow symbol is used instead of the equal sign. I think you're familiar with this sign, assignment. This is called our assignment operator. So we will not use is equal to no more in our algorithms. We need to use assignment operator. Like if you're going to assign anything, like if you're going to assign number, like num, this is a variable, and you assign any value to it, like you assign 10. So this means that 10 is equal to num. So this command makes an array called results with 4 elements. The elements are floating numbers. Elements of any data type can be stored. So Janab, now we are going to take a variable that is called result. In that variable, we are going to assign some values. अच्छा वो values integers भी हो सकती हैं, floating point भी हो सकती है, like real. तो आप देख सकते हैं इन्होंने एक results यहाँ पर variable assign किया. They use an assignment operator here and they input 4 elements. The first element is 7.0. The second element is 12.3. The third element is 4.4. And the fourth element is 9.1. These are the 4 elements. So just as in Python, the first element result 0. The final element result is 3. What is the value of result 1? तो यहाँ पर result 1 की value क्या होगी? जल्दी से बताइए.
12.3.
12.3, exactly. Because array starts from 0 position. So 0 stands for 7.0. 1 stands for 12.3. So this is how we are going to recognize a particular element with the help of index. Index कहते हैं positions को, ठीक है? Okay.
Okay, sir.
Append to an array. Pseudocode does not have the append command that we use in Python to add a value in a list. Again, append is a command which is used to store something, which is used to add something in a list. Like if you forget something in an array, you can use append. So in pseudocodes, we cannot use this append. This is used in a practical programming. However, it is easy to add elements to an empty array, like countries. This is an empty array. Look. Now you are going to assign Brazil, Uruguay, Argentina. So what would be the content of the array after these commands? तो देखिए जब आप इसको assign कर देंगे countries में 0, 1, 2, तो ये तमाम countries जो हैं ये ब्राजील, उरुग्वे और अर्जेंटीना ये इस वेरिएबल में स्टोर हो जाएंगे. तो अब जब भी आप प्रिंट करेंगे कंट्रीज तो इन तीनों कंट्रीज के नेम आ रहे होंगे. So this is called append. Append means to add something. ठीक है जी? To an array. So let's see how do we input values in an array. you can use for or while loop to input elements to an array. Here is an example using a for loop. In pseudocode, a for loop counts from a start to a stop value. Okay, now the question arises, sir, what is the use to apply loop? We have already done the topic of loop, right? So we know that loop means that computer is going to repeat the value or proceed the value to the next step like this, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Acha. So in array, if we have multiple items, like let's suppose if we have 5 numbers and we wanted to print them one by one, not all together. So definitely we need a loop. So loop is used to iterate the values. And especially if we think or discuss about for next. So for next is a best loop because in for next we need to input the start value and we need to input the stop value. So this is how the for next is going to start execution. So the first element of an array has the index number 0. 0 is a start value. So let's suppose if I'm going to input a number and elements from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the values are like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So our loop starts from 0 and it will execute the loop till 4th value. The final element of an array has an index number 1 less than the length of an array. So this is a stop value. Like if you are repeating your numbers 5 times, so this is your stop value. So your loop will execute your value still here from 0 till 4. And if you input the values like 1, 2, 5, so the loop is going to use these values in order like from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see an example here.
Sir,
Yes.
I don't understand this. Can you explain it again?
Let me tell you again. In an array, you know that array starts from 0, right?
Yeah, the index.
So
starting.
array 0 is the first starting point of a loop, right? What is the
Yes,
last
sir.
point of our loop? 4th. 4th is the last value. So once we are using the for next loop in our array, we need to give the start value and the stop value to our loop, right?
Yes, sir. But how do you use the 15, 16, 17, 18, 19?
देखें, ये हमारे numbers store हुए हैं. Once you are playing the loop like on 0, the computer is not going to mention the position. The computer is going to display the numbers. So I will teach you how the computer is going to display the numbers in the next example.
Okay, sir.
Okay, here we go. Okay, this is our example here. So you can see results. In results, you can see there is an empty array. You can see there is an empty array. It means the positions or the data is not displayed because this is an empty array. So first we are going to assign a value, result. This is a variable. Now we are going to declare one more variable that's called I. Now listen up very carefully. This is our I. In I, we have the value 0, 1, 2, 3, till 9, right? Okay. Results I. इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि जो भी results हैं वो I को execute कराएंगे यानी I के साथ execute कराएंगे यानी results कितने time input होंगे बताइए जल्दी से results
Sir,
9
9
time
times.
input होंगे तो कैसे अब
Sir,
देखिए
is this like the counter control loop with the I?
let me tell you results I assign कर रहा है user input so 0 पर let's suppose मैंने marks input किए 15 1 पर मैंने 16 मार्क्स इनपुट किए, 2 पर मैंने 21, 3 पर मैंने 35। तो अब देखिए रिजल्ट्स किसके साथ चल रहे हैं, आई के साथ, और हर आई पर एक ना एक वैल्यू स्टोर हो रही है, right? So once you are going to print results, you can see only these things. You will not see 0 till 9 numbers, right? So this is how you are going to
Yes.
use the loop. And then after completing your loop, you need to write and for,
So add the for loop.
right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now output an array. अच्छा, अब तुम देखो इसमें इन्होंने क्या लिखा है, द लूप विल एड 10 वैल्यूज। सो लूप ने कितनी वैल्यूज एग्जीक्यूट की, 0 से लेकर 9 तक 10
10.
values execute. So this is how the loop works. So just in Python, you can output a single element of an array by giving the index number. अब देखें आउटपुट में जैसे आपने लिया results 9, अब होगा क्या कि हमारे पास results में कितनी वैल्यूज थी एज एन array 9, लेकिन कंप्यूटर कितनी डिस्प्ले करेगा, 0 से लेकर 9 तक कितनी वैल्यूज इनपुट
10 value.
10 करेगा, ठीक है ना, लॉजिकल तो 10 करेगा क्योंकि इन्होंने 0 से स्टार्ट लिया है। Okay, you can also use a for loop to output all elements of an array. Remember, find element of an array has an index number, one less than the length of the array. So, अब आपको अगर stop करना है अपना प्रोग्राम, stop, len, len क्या चीज होती है बताइए, मैंने पहले बताया था,
Length of the
length, length of results बताइए कितनी है, results
sir,
कितने हैं,
10,
10 है, 10 minus 1,
9,
तो कंप्यूटर पे कितना डिस्प्ले करेगा रिजल्ट्स,
9.
यानी कि वो एक नंबर को डिलीट कर देगा। सो आई के अंदर आप 0 जब इनपुट करेंगे तो स्टॉप हो जाएगा, यानी इफ यू वांटेड टू टर्मिनेट योर लूप यू नीड टू प्रेस 0। सो वंस यू प्रेस 0 आपका जो लूप है वो रुक जाएगा और जो भी रिजल्ट्स हैं, जितने भी रिजल्ट्स आपके हैं मजीद उनको डिस्प्ले कर देगा, रिजल्ट्स आए। So take out your notebook and start writing this.
Okay.
We can use a while loop to assign values to an array. This is a longer program. It has an advantage that user can add as many or few elements to an array. लेकिन जी while do में आपको चॉइस होगी कि आप इसमें अपनी मर्जी से या तो एलिमेंट्स बहुत सारे इनपुट कर दें या फ्यू एलिमेंट्स ले लें। आपने एक वेरिएबल लिया रिजल्ट्स और उसे एक एम्प्टी एरे के तौर पर डिक्लेयर किया। More, if you are going to press y, so it will be regarded as more. अब आपने एक वेरिएबल लिया है आई का, ये देखें आई की वैल्यू मैंने 0 रखी है। अब देखिएगा while more is equal to y, यानी कि जब आप y प्रेस करेंगे तो i के अंदर आप यूजर इनपुट करेगा। जैसे i के अंदर मैंने इनपुट किया 5, ये देखिएगा 5 इनपुट हुआ, तो अब मेरे i की वैल्यू क्या हो गई, 5 हो गई। i इज इक्वल टू i प्लस 1, अब 5 प्लस 1 6, 6 प्लस 1 7, यानी मोर आपने इनपुट किया और आपकी वैल्यूज देखें खुद ब खुद आगे बढ़ना शुरू हो जाएंगी, एंड सो ऑन। यूजर इनपुट करता रहेगा, वो मोर में सेव होता रहेगा और आप जितनी चाहे वैल्यूज इनपुट कर दें। प्लस 1 का कॉन्सेप्ट ये है कि वैल्यूज हर स्टेप में आगे बढ़ रही हैं। सो इफ यू वांटेड टू एग्जीक्यूट मोर वैल्यूज इट्स अप टू यू। सो while do में इन्होंने यही बताया कि आपको ऑप्शन दिया गया है कि आप या तो कम वैल्यूज इनपुट करें या तो ज्यादा, इट्स अप टू यू, राइट?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm giving you some questions right now. You need to do question number 1 and question number 2. Do it now. You have 10 minutes. Okay. Now we are going to start the new topic that's called 2D arrays and list. In the previous topic, we have covered the 1D arrays, one-dimensional arrays. It means there is a single column. But in 2D array structures, we have a particular tables. So sometimes data is provided in a grid or matrix structure. When we present this type of data, we often show it as a table. So in 2D arrays, we usually have a table. We have numbered the rows and columns starting with 0 to match the way Python numbers a list element. Like you can see, this is column 0, this is column 1, this is column 2. This is row 0, this is row 1, and this is row 2. So as we know, in computer programming, the Python array uses this type of computing, like it starts from 0. So once we are going to make a 2D structure, 2D means a table. So we need to also mention that we have 0 column and we have a 0 row. Each element in the table may be identified by its row and column position. Let's suppose if I'm asking from you, tell me the value on 0, 0. This is row and this is column. Tell me. You said, sir, it is 23.
Yeah, 23.
Okay, can you tell me row 2 and column 1?
18.
18. Row 2 and column 1. No, wrong. Row 2
Oh,
and
11. 11.
11. So this is how we are going to read the values. This type of structure is called 2D array. One dimension is the height of the table increased by the row number. Like 1D arrays are represented in this way. Look this way. So this is 0. So these are the columns. So there is a single column, right? But in 2D array or structure, we have a proper table. So you can see if we are going to can you tell me the 100 value of 100? So you can see, sir, row 0 and column 2. So this type of data structure is called 2D arrays, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now let's see about the 2D list. Okay, we will do it later. You need to write it down quickly and draw a rough table in your notebook, okay? Topic of 2D list. In 2D list in Python, this structure is shown by making a list of lists. Each element in the list is a smaller list. We will call it a sublist. देखिए होगा क्या? You have a list that name is grid or grid. अब इस ग्राइड के अंदर आप देख सकते हैं तीन लिस्ट हैं. एक ये वाली लिस्ट हो गई, एक ये वाली लिस्ट हो गई और एक ये वाली लिस्ट हो गई. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड लिस्ट अंडर लिस्ट. यानी ग्राइड एक ही लिस्ट है लेकिन इस लिस्ट के अंदर मल्टीपल लिस्ट्स हैं. सो इट मे बी इजियर टू अंडरस्टैंड इफ वी ब्रेक द कमांड इनटू सेवरल लाइंस यूजिंग द स्लैश सिंबल. तो आपने दोबारा से ग्राइड लिखना है और हर लिस्ट को अलग अलग रॉ में मेंशन कर देना है. लेकिन you always need this slash symbol. Without this slash symbol, you cannot differentiate them. So these are called the 2D list in which you have a multiple lists under one variable. Each element of the list is a sublist. Like 23, 17, 10 is a sublist. 38, 19, 20, 200 is a sublist and so on. So अगर आप print grade 1 करते हैं तो कंप्यूटर ग्राइड 1 में किसको ले रहा है? ये देखिए इसको ले रहा है 1, 2, क्योंकि कंप्यूटर में एरे यूज होता है 0 से. तो 0 पर था 23, 17, 100. कंप्यूटर ने वो नहीं लिया. जब आपने प्रिंट ग्राइड 1 किया तो कंप्यूटर ने 1 किसको लिया? अकॉर्डिंग टू एरेज रूल 38, 19.
अरे बिकॉज़ पहला वाला तो इंडेक्स 0 है ना, तो
0 है. देखिए मैंने लिख भी दिया उसको, राइट?
Yes, sir.
So you can write it down in a notebook quick.